What happens if you lose, Nick?
Who the hell is Aquaman?
I get Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, I get sausage biscuits. Maybe you guys will see a little footage of that later on because we got some good stuff.
Go up the deuces. There you go, baby.
Hey, boys, good evening, and welcome to K-Star Christopher James. I am Christopher James. It is Tuesday night. We're live from my studio in Tampa, Florida. And man, I had 3 guests lined up for us, but we had a change of plans and everything. 2 guests we had to reschedule for a later date. But the one guest that I do have, guy means a lot to me, man. He's been working, he's been grinding. I've watched his career over the years. There's been days where, he posts up on social media, fuck this, I'm done with fighting, I'm never doing it again, I can't catch a fucking break. I was on the Contender Series, I had a stellar finish, they still didn't put me in the fucking UFC. Fuck this, I'm done with this, I can't take it anymore, I'm going to go do something else with my life because this fight game is bullshit. And then one day he got a phone call. And now he is officially in the UFC. He is the action man. He is the king of combat. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome UFC fighter, the man himself, the one and only, Christopher Curtis.
It's so weird to hear that now. I love it though.
What, your name or UFC fighter?
The UFC fighter, yeah. Like it's something you searched for so long, and like now to hear it, I'm like, oh man, it's real.
It's real, dude, and it's real because like you didn't just get real and get into the UFC. You went in there and you fucking beat a guy one weight class up. First of all, congratulations on getting the call. Like I might get emotional, I might cry during this interview. There's guys I've been watching grind for a long time, and it means something to me when they achieve a dream. And I know how hard you worked for this dream. I know what this dream meant to you. I even go out on a limb and say, if you never fought in the UFC again, I think you could retire today happy because you got there and you got to win. Not saying you're not going to fight again, but you know what I mean? It's one of those moments that I see for you that, all right, fuck it. I did it. I got here. I got a big win. If your career ended today, could you be happy that you finally made it and you got to win?
Part of me would be happy, man. Like, I want to see how far I can go, which is the plan. But like to finally get that first foothold, man, I can't tell you like how much that means to me. Like, especially after struggling for years to get a foot in the door, I finally get that foothold. You finally get in. Like you want to see how far you can go, but man, it feels good to get that first step.
Yeah, it is crazy, dude. Like I remember because they announced it a month ago, and you were supposed to fight this Phil Hawes guy, but he didn't want to take the fight on short notice on 24 hours because he wanted to study you. But he studied you, and he still lost.
Apparently, he wanted me to I never saw this interview or stuff until later, and he's like, I wanted to study him. He wants me to watch his videos and get nervous. I've never watched a single one of his like Instagram stories. We watched his videos the first day. And we're like, okay, cool, we got it. So it's kind of funny. He's like, he wants me to watch him training. I'm like, bro, I've never once looked at your Instagram. We watched your videos for a day and then moved on. So that's stuff you do when you're young in the game, man. Like that's the mindset you have when you're young in the game. I'm an old dog in this. Like I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, I know. It's funny that. Excuse me, I got the good shit today. It's funny that you're so seasoned to be going in for your first fight. You and I talked to you off air a minute ago. You and my boy Chris Barnett both made this was his second UFC fight. But you guys both, your mom, Sandra Curtis, has said you knocked the door down. And you and Chris Barnett both knocked the door down in a big way. But let's backtrack before we talk about the fight. And tell me about when you got the call that you were in the UFC, a month ago, because, we were all jacked up, ready to watch your fight. I put up an article, Chris Curtis in the UFC, blah, blah, blah. Then the fight didn't happen. I was like, motherfuckers, God damn it. Made me wait another month. These fuckers.
Bro, yeah, it's such a weird day. Like I got that call on Thursday night and like, hey, you can make weight in the morning. You got a UFC fight. So we made the weight in the morning. We showed up, we weighed in. we're like, yeah, we're doing medicals, and they're like, hey, he doesn't want to fight. So I'm like, I went from being in the UFC to fighting to I don't know, the guy doesn't want to fight. So I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna cut me. This is bullshit. And
It's like in the movie Friday. How you lose your job on
fight,
your day
yeah,
off?
fighting a day off. Yeah, I was like, what the hell, man? But Mick Maynard ended up keeping me. Everybody convinced Mick Maynard to keep me on. And then like 3 days later, they're like, hey, you're fighting on the Madison Square Garden card. I'm like, okay, cool, Phil Hawes. I'm like, let's go, man. Like, I wasn't aware you could just say no to a fight. Like, I didn't know that's how that worked.
You can,
But I
but
guess,
you shouldn't.
I didn't know that was a thing. Especially at that level. So they made him fight me anyway. And I guess he thought I was gonna like panic and think about it or whatever. And like I said, that's thing the up and comers do, man. I've been doing this for too long to be worried about a fight.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't see the pressure getting to you because you fought all over the world. You've had some really big fights. You fought for PFL, and if I'm being honest, while the notoriety and the status of fighting in the UFC is untouched, unheralded, fighting for an opportunity for $1 million, that's got to be having more pressure than fighting in the octagon. So I mean, you went through that. Yeah, I mean, you didn't get to the $1 million, but still, I got $1 million if I win a couple of fights. Holy fuck, versus all right, I got this fight right here. If I win this, I get another one.
Way more pressure for me was that tournament. Like it's back-to-back fights. You got $1 million on the line. That was way more pressure than and it's funny because during the fight I go out there and he's walking out. I turn to my manager. I'm waiting for him to walk out, and I'm like, this just feels like every other fight to me. And I'm like, you think people are like, oh, UFC jitters, all of that. I'm like, it feels like every other fight I've ever had. I felt fine. I felt like I should have been there. And
yeah, for you, I mean, I put up a post after you won. I said, for all y'all that didn't think you belonged in the octagon, you believe us now. And I said us because there were so many people out there that believed in you, that you belong in the UFC. And you proved all of us right. That we knew what the fuck we were talking about. I'm not going to get mad about it anymore. I was probably as pissed as you, maybe a little less pissed than you when you didn't get in after your Contender Series fight because you showed them everything you would want to see in a fighter. You showed them stand up, you showed them ground, you showed them resilience, you showed them you could take a punch and fucking keep coming and work hard. It still baffles me. And then we get a guy this season that lost in a fight and he got a UFC contract. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, my season of Contenders is hard mode apparently. Like, he got a little bit more relaxed about stuff, but I had the hard mode season because it was just not about that life. And now I see guys miss weight and get contracts. I'm like, what is happening? You see a lot of decisions and those guys get contracts. I guess it's a little bit easier than it was, but it's whatever, man. Like, one of the things I'm learning in life is you can't control the things that happen to you all the time. So just kind of just roll with it. You control your response to it.
Yeah.
And I just had to sit down and just keep grinding. I can't control the BS that happens. So,
I mean, you must have, in my years of knowing you, I think you've retired like 14 times, on social media. I'm done with this fucking game.
Officially twice.
Officially twice. Unofficially 14.
Oh, you've seen it. I rant a lot. I get furious.
Because you were mad, and justifiably so, because you're seeing guys that aren't on your level getting contracts. They're promoting guys like Edmund Shabazian, who's lost 3 in a row, and I don't think is the fucking meal ticket that everybody thought he was going to be. And I didn't believe in him from the beginning. And he's getting a contract. He's lost 3 fights in a row now, and he's going to get another fight. And he got there before you, and you had the resume that said UFC on it. I mean, everything you did, should have led you to the UFC long ago. But like you said, you can't control how things happen in life. And now that you understand that, it's something I learned a long time ago that, when I admit how powerless I am, I become most powerful.
It's entirely true, man. Like it's all in your reactions to it and what you decide to do with that information.
Yep. So Phil Hawes, you get booked with him twice. You finally get the fight, and oh wait, hold on, Madison Square Garden for your UFC debut. How fucking dope is that, bro? I mean, I know you did some
So
Madison Square Garden, but the smaller part of MSG with PFL. This was the big. This is the spot where Muhammad Ali fought, and fucking legend.
the journey to get here sucked, but man, that was a crazy payoff. Like you get to fight. It's probably America's most legendary like fighting arena. Is Madison Square Garden. Like, especially coming from like a boxing background. Like, what more do you want, man? Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you went up there, you showed up, you showed out. So Phil Hawes,
Fuck that guy.
wrestler, a well-known wrestler. And he's always said in his interviews and stuff that he wants to work on a striking game. Well, I gotta say, I was impressed with the way he was touching you up on Saturday night.
Yeah, I give him credit, man.
He was good. His hands
that was
good.
The best.
His hand speed, his combinations were slick.
That was the best I've ever seen Phil Hawes. Like, honestly, that caught me off guard. That was the cleanest I've ever seen him striking. Like, hats off to him and Hoof, man, because the amount of improvements he made between fights was surprising. That was
leaps and bounds.
Very surprising. He cleaned up a lot. So he got his basics cleaned up, and that becomes really dangerous when you have somebody that explosive and athletic to where I'm just like, oh my God. We touched gloves and I was like, the first time ever in my career, I was like, whoa, I may have miscalculated some things like in the lead up to this because that dude is a big dude. It was the first time in my career I wasn't the scary black guy. And I was like, is that what that feels like? Like, Jesus, that is miserable, man. Like, oh my God.
Hey,
he's huge.
Forrest, if you're watching, rewind that and clip that segment right there. For the first time in my career, I wasn't the scary black guy. That's got to be the greatest quote ever on my show. It was miserable. It was miserable. I was like, all right, that was bad. And he's such a about 40 seconds into that fight, I realized I wasn't going to out-athlete, be more athletic than Phil Hawes. I had to concede the first 40 seconds, you were by far the better athlete. You're bigger than me, you're stronger than me, and apparently you're faster than me for the time being. So I'm like, okay, we have to change our game plan here because holy hell, my first two combinations he punched through. I know.
He punched shit. He punched straight through, and I was like, "Oh, we're just doing that." Then I was like, I didn't know that was a thing that you did, but okay, yeah.
We're doing this shit. What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
man?
I was like, all right, man. He just punched straight through it. I was like, that is not what I was expecting, but okay, we'll just keep it rolling, I guess.
After about a minute, and I'm guessing somewhere in your brain, you're probably going, "Can you fucking wrestle me, motherfucker? That's what I came for."
We were expecting him to wrestle. We're just like, man, he is just really, he's front kicking me. And I'm like, bro, he is really trying to prove a point today. So it was weird it was unexpected, but
he chose
as unexpected as it was.
He chose the wrong guy.
Yeah, I'm like, as unexpected as it was, I was like, that's fine because this is a really stupid game to play. He looked a lot better, but you're a wrestler who's striking. I am a striker who's striking. Cool, but I'm going to find you, and I promise you, I'm going to find you, and I did find him.
You did. You found him, dude. You cracked him, dude. Fucking nice, fucking left, dude. Fucking really sent the fight down the fucking path to victory for Mr. Action Man, Mr. UFC, Mr. Chris Curtis. It's an awesome moment to see any person in any walk of life achieve something that they wanted for a long time. For you, watching you get there, watching the journey, then watching you arrive, and then watching how you handled the moment when it came, it really just goes to show that, you know what? I'm not mad at the UFC anymore for not putting you in. You know what I mean? They should have put you in a long time ago, but you know what, man? Things happen for a reason, and this was your destiny to be there that night and put on that kind of a performance in front of, the fourth largest crowd, fourth largest gate ever at Madison Square Garden. The trend on pay-per-view is saying, upwards of, 850K. That's a lot of eyes on Chris Curtis. So, it sucks. You could have been there before, blah, 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 but never on the stage that's big. And I think, at this point, maybe it's, maybe it was just the way your story was supposed to be written because.
And I had to accept that too, because think about it, man, he's a tough guy. He's going to do well in his career, but at this point in my life, I'm honestly the best I've ever been as a fighter. And like, I have the tools I need and I have the experience I need to where, Phil was by far the better athlete than me that night. I'm never going to be able to beat Phil as an athlete, but I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter. I'm a bigger dog. And I have the experience, man. Like I had the experience to weather that and to like make the adjustments and to not panic. Like, people are like, "Oh, you were so calm in there." I was like, "Yeah." I told people like, "You don't think I've been in bad fights before? You don't think I've been on my back foot before? Like I've been there before. I've seen it 1,000 times. I've been in that situation time and time again. I'm not going to panic. I have the experience to like cover, defend, start looking for reads, and start seeing." So maybe everything brought me to that moment. Everything I've done brought me to that moment. I don't know, man, but it all came together very well. It gelled very well, and I got the best night of my life, man.
Yeah, the best night of your life in your career. There's no doubt about it. Are you bummed now that Mike Perry's moved on from the UFC? Because I know you always wanted to fight Mike Perry.
God, it angers me. I was like, I missed him by a few weeks. I'm like, oh God, like
That's funny.
I don't know, man. Maybe we'll fight when we're like 50. We'll have like some weird. I don't know, man. Like we'll fight like a Jake Paul undercard when we're 40.
He's doing this Triller card in Texas where it's like boxer versus MMA fighter, modified rules, kind of like the bare knuckle fighting rules, but they're going to use modified gloves that aren't MMA gloves but aren't full boxing gloves. It's going to be a weird thing. And then he signed a fight contract with Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, and I know you always wanted to fight him. I know you don't like Mike, but I also know you respect that he got to the UFC. He's done his thing. He's definitely made a name for himself. So let me just ask you, just to get off your career for a minute. Mike Perry, we all know that his ground game is not where it needed to be. His jiu-jitsu and everything, even though he's got it. I mean, the dude fucking took down Donald Cerrone, and dumbest thing he could have done, but he took down Donald Cerrone to prove a point that he could do it. So I respected that. But Mike Perry to bare knuckle. If anything in the world doesn't make more sense than that, is there anything in the world that makes more sense than that? You know what I'm saying? Like, here's a guy
Honestly,
who was built for BKFC.
No one was surprised. Like, Mike Perry's a bare knuckle. We're like, you know what? That actually it makes perfect sense. And like, I don't even hate Mike anymore. Like, it's unfortunate. Like, he dude's got his own problems, his own demons to deal with. So it's unfortunate that he struggled so much. But I don't know, man. Like, maybe bare knuckle will be good for him, man. But like, maybe it'll be something he excels at. But it seems like a match made in heaven, honestly. So
your boy. Well,
wait, time out, real quick. Just want to say, he took down Donald Cerrone. I hope Cerrone sees this. I hope you see this, Donald. I can take down Donald Cerrone almost at will. I hope Donald Cerrone can see this.
I love it. So I'm trying to figure out if this message is for me, from Brandon Jenkins. Love this dude. I love you too, Brandon. Are you shouting at your teammate Curtis, or are you telling me how much you love me? Because if it's how much you love me, I'm not surprised, man. I'm a fucking hell of a guy.
It could be either, but
it's definitely for you because the action man. And he just commented too. He goes, "I cried when Curtis won." So did I. I teared up, man. Oh, look, now he's covering his ass. He's like, "Love both of y'all." That's fucked up.
No, it's Jenkins. It's probably all one sentence, but it's just like I read that in Brandon Jenkins' voice, which is even more funny.
Oh, that's even funnier. I had him on my show a little while back before his PFL fight with Jacob Kilburn, and then he got the call to the UFC, and I'm just like going, fucking, this is crazy, man. The syndicate is really starting to put it together. You guys have always had a good gym out there, and there's a lot of good fighters there, and you have some that are there, but it just seems like right now, kind of like Fortis MMA, like there's been a shift. Fortis, Sanford, Syndicate are really starting to make names for themselves as the gyms, the places to be. There's always going to be American Top Team. There's Elevation, there's AKA, but there's some new schools coming through that are, and I don't say new schools because they're not new, but they're getting more pop because they're.
You gotta do like Sanford. Sanford's the one that always freaks me out because they kind of they came out of nowhere. They had to establish
between American Top Team and the Black Zillions.
They are. They had a stable of guys, but then they've got a lot of up and coming guys too. Where Henry Hook is out there just pumping them out. Yeah, I got
It's like your
to hats
management
off to him.
company. It's like your management
Yeah,
company, Iridium. They're just pumping motherfuckers out. COVID
yeah.
gave so many Iridium fighters opportunity, and you saw a couple weeks ago that the Iridium signed their 100th fighter to the
The 100th
UFC.
guy. I think I was
And
99.
now it's like I think it's 108 because of some contender series things,
Yeah.
and it's so cool. Like a lot of people didn't realize how entrenched Iridium has been in the UFC, but now their time has come. They're getting more pop than Dominance MMA, even though they had champions like Khabib and Cejudo, and they still have Usman.
Yeah.
And of course, First Round Management, which is a great management team, Sucker Punch, but now Iridium is spoken in those same circles, and they probably should have been long ago, but they made their rise quietly. They didn't do it like you. You were noisy about not being there. You know what I'm saying? You were like, "Fuck you guys! What the fuck?"
Yeah, right.
But Iridium just rose, and then all of a sudden you start seeing more pop, more social media. And Jason
Nah, man,
Jason House is the motherfucking dude, man. I really
he grinds hard, man. He grinds
the
very
grind.
hard.
I love him because he grew up in a house where his parents fostered 28 children. This is a true story. And he had to grow up with all these different people who call brother and sister, and it really turned him into such a phenomenal human being that he watches out for you guys, his athletes, the way he did for those foster kids who needed, the love from a stable family. And his family was chosen to do that. So he learned along the way how to accommodate and take care of people and address their needs. And he implements it in every aspect of his life. I love him so much for that, more so than, how many guys he got signed to the UFC, how many guys he got signed to PFL or Bellator. What impresses me the most is how many guys he has signed and how much he's involved in every single one of them. I'm sure he doesn't know every single thing about every single guy, but he probably knows enough about every single guy on their client list, that other managers don't know about. I have one client. I have Marcus Brimage as my client. And doing that is tough with just one guy. I can't imagine how he does what he does. But having that guy in your corner is probably, the second
It's interesting, man, because
career.
I actually didn't know, like, Jason's one of those dudes you learn more about him. It's like, oh, like, people don't understand how invested he is, not just business wise, but how personally he's invested with getting stuff done to where, Jason and I had butt heads in the past before. And yeah, we'd butt heads in the past, but now I'm at a point now to where, I had to admit that I was wrong. And I was actually I was going to leave my management company. I was so frustrated and I was just mad. And I actually did leave, and Jason called me and he's like, "Look, man, I know you're upset," but he was like, and it's weird because we didn't really talk as much before. And I left my management company. He called me. He's like, "I know you're upset. I know it's frustrating," but he asked me just believe in me, because I make it a point every day to remind myself that I'm what I'm trying to do. And you're one of my one of my sticking points. I have to get this done. So he hit me up and he's like, "Look, man, I need you. I need you to believe in me the way we believed in you." And I'm freaking out, having one of my moments. I'm emotional dude. So I'm freaking out with my career, my life. And he's like, "I really need you to believe in me." He's like, she's like, "I'm trying everything I can. I'm working every day." So I said, "Okay." We buried it. And then he went back to work. We built a plan to get into the UFC if I don't get the call, different ways to do it. And he invests. He's one of those guys, he and Lance Spouty, both are two people that invest everything they have into making this work. So people don't get how important good management is. And I'll say that they have invested everything they have of themselves and just their name, reputations, and character into doing this. So it's a very, very comforting feeling to have that in your knowing you have that behind you.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. It probably helps you sleep at night, knowing that you do have somebody that's working around the clock, and a team that are doing everything they can to help you achieve your dream, because their dream is to help guys like you achieve their dreams. So
And
there's a lot of dreams getting achieved, because they want to put guys to where they want to be, guys and girls, I should say, and the guys and girls that trust in them are getting to live their dreams. Sometimes it takes a little longer, but they've been in your corner a long time, I know. And you live with your manager, your actual
I
agent.
live at Lance now. Yeah, I moved in with him a while ago. I sold my condo and moved in with Lance. I think it's easier. Like makes life easier, like being there. I just pretty much focus on just training. I don't gotta do any like auxiliary stuff, so it works out nicely. And Lance is like,
Was he in the other room, like calling on the phone, going, "Dude, you're in the UFC," or did at least knock on your bedroom door?
Yeah, I hear like I think he fell up the stairs. Someone's banging on the door. He's like, "What are we wearing right now?" He's like freaking out. So you guys watched the fight. Lance was the guy screaming in my corner, like the chick from Nutty Professor, like Hercules, Hercules. Like it was the funniest video ever. But that's Lance,
so
and that dude lives and breathes this. Like he's like on the road like every day, all week, traveling for fighters, doing meetings. Like the dude lives this. So he's like my brother, man, and he's always trying to look out for me. So.
Yeah,
good management matters, guys.
Yeah, because he's been down here. He did some stuff with us either at Icon or at Game Bread or at Island Fights. I don't remember, but I've met him a couple different times. I really like him. He's a hell of a good dude. And not bad to have your manager right there, fucking wake you up. Dude, go do your fucking medicals. Dude, go get your eyes fucking checked.
It's great. Like he pretty much like thinking about good management is like I don't have to worry about the extra. My appointments are made for me. I get, show up here. This is what you have. Like my schedule's done for me. Like this is what needs to be done. This is what we've already done. This is these medicals are overdue. Everything like that. So like lets you just focus on fighting, and it completely changes your ability to like perform because all you're doing is fighting. All you're doing is training.
So are you going to play around at middleweight, or are you going to now perform at welterweight where you belong?
Let's be real, man. I'm looking at this like middleweight for me is free money. I'm playing with house money right now. Like I'm gonna go out here and I tried to fight this weekend. I tried to fight next. I asked for a fight this weekend. Almost got that. Asked for a fight that was on. They called me about a fight next month. That I was like, yeah, let's do it at 85. Like at 85, I'm not the biggest 85er. I'm never gonna be 85 champion, but I can still scrap with them. So I'm gonna play 85 as long as I can. If someone beats me out the weight class, then sure, I'll go to 70. But right now, I'm playing with house money, man. Like,
so you're gonna stay up at middleweight?
Yeah, why not? Like, I'm a welterweight. Like,
I know.
I lose. I lose. I'm a welterweight. I win. You got beat by a welterweight. Like, I'm playing with house money right now. I'm not worried about it. Let's just go.
You got the excuse and the answer for what happens if you win and lose at middleweight already set up. If I lose, well, dude, I'm a fucking welterweight. What the fuck am I doing up here?
Yeah. Congratulations, you beat a welterweight.
You got beat up by a welterweight. Ha ha ha.
Right? They're eating Phil Hawes alive. Like, bro, you got knocked out by a welterweight. Like, yeah bro. I'm playing with house money. We're gonna let this ride as long as we can. Let's go.
It's a moment, like you said, you got beat by a welterweight about Phil Hawes. How do you think Gian Vellante feels knowing that he got knocked out by fucking 5'9" Chris Barnett with that wheel kick? And the best part about that wheel kick, the best part about that wheel kick is everybody that saw that, except for Chris Barnett fans that know him, fucking were completely shocked that a guy of his build does that. But for me, I saw, and somebody like messaged me going, "Did you see that kick from that guy, Chris?" I said, yeah, man. I said, he did that first
I've known about Huggy
back in the XFC when he debuted with us, man.
Yeah, I've known about Huggy Bear for a while. Yeah, I was like, bro, like honestly, you can't if you're John Valley, you can't be mad because like Barnett's just an anomaly of a human being. Like he's one of those glitches in the Matrix, so you're just like, okay, like whatever. So like you can't be too mad about that. Like dude's a freaking anomaly.
I think what you just said, he's a glitch in the Matrix is probably
he really is. He's a glitch in the Matrix, man.
He is, and it's funny because they were showing the replay of the knockout on Fight Night. I'm watching, and Joe Rogan's going, because what I just said about Vellante. He goes, "Do you imagine what's going through Vellante's head right now? I can't believe I just got kicked in the head by this guy as he's falling to the ground."
Yeah.
But how classy was it of Chris to give up that moment? His moment.
Dude, Huggy Bear's an awesome dude, man. Like people don't realize just how awesome. Oh, he's a Beast Boy now. I'm sorry.
It was always Beast Boy, and then the Huggy Bear came when he went to Japan because it fit the character development.
I still love Huggy Bear, man. I will go Beast Boy. I still love Huggy Bear, but we'll go Beast Boy. But he's an awesome dude, man. Like, people don't get how great of a dude he is. Like, he's had a hard road to get there too, but he's a fucking awesome dude. Like,
Dude,
he's just
he flies back home from fucking Vegas and goes back to Georgia, dude, and he probably had to show up at work at Home Depot this morning.
right. That dude's
and he's got family,
something
he's
else.
got kids, so he probably went right back to work. Even though he probably made well, we know he made 50, because he got a performance bonus, so he made somewhere between 50 and 100 grand that night, and we'll just put it at that because I don't know the actual number of his check, but I'm guessing he didn't get more than 25 and 25,
And keep grinding.
But no, yeah, that's the thing. You keep grinding. But you know what? His dance moves coming out, the original real Harlem Shake, because that's what he was doing.
Yeah,
Some
right.
people don't know
That dude is, yeah.
know.
I know. I saw. I was dying in the back, like this guy. Like,
he took his moment. He took his moment.
no, he enjoyed it. He earned it.
It's like you. You took the moment and you made the most of it. Now you're not the same personality as Chris Barnett. You got a personality. Yours is just a little different than Chris's, but you're a fun guy. You're a fun guy. Like, I remember when I did your fight at XMMA or earlier this year. Wow, it seems like so long ago now that you were at XMMA. You did this show, you did that show. Boom, you're finishing the year up in the octagon. But your personality, you were talking shit during the fight. Your cornerman Sean Strickland's talking shit. To you, telling your opponent to kick your ass because he felt you were like, you were showboat. I mean, and one of my viewers said he wants to hear a Sean Strickland story from you. I'm going to tell a quick Sean Strickland story from that XMMA event because he was your corner. I remember we were walking through the hotel lobby and your opponent's coaches, and I don't remember who they were. Him and Strickland were standing in the lobby just fucking kicking each other, calf kicking each other, like fucking for no fucking reason other than just to do it. And I already knew Strickland was a little cuckoo, but fucking this other guy must have been just as cuckoo because you don't want to stand there and just calf kick somebody in the lobby. And they weren't kicking easy. They weren't trying to show technique. They were trying to chop each other's legs off. And
that's
he's crazy.
Sean Strickland is like, so Sean Strickland is a special type of madness because he spreads that madness to everyone around him. So like, that's what makes Sean Strickland a problem is like, he spreads his psychosis to everything around him. And it's what he does, man.
Is there any particular funny story that you could tell us that would just, not surprise us because we've seen him before. We know he's got antics, but just that would make us laugh?
I'm trying to think of one that's not like terrible. I know I have some, but I am like deadly tired. I'm trying to think of a good Sean Strickland story. I guess you guys all saw the video when he fought 3 people in the gym. That was a great time.
That was fun. That's crazy.
Or the other fun time is you guys have no idea how much. Some of these stories, Sean Strickland facts, how much time this man spends trolling Luke Rockhold right now. Like, it is a very real thing. He has an enormous hate. He has an enormous hate boner for Luke Rockhold, and he goes out of his way to troll Luke Rockhold at every turn. So, not so much a story, but if you guys follow Sean's Instagram for the show Luke Rockhold trolling, it's absolutely ridiculous.
And he deserves it. I don't like Luke Rockhold either, and for different reasons.
No one really likes Luke Rockhold.
Oh, there he is. I was waiting for this motherfucker to show up. What took you so long to get here, Sherrard Blackledge? But Chris there he is. I know I'm a
Thriller himself. Yeah, Thriller himself, man.
I want to send him. I want to send him a link to come on into the studio right with that and just beatbox for us. Sherrod's
a trip. That dude's a trip, man.
And he, you know what? And the cool thing is, he's learning from a guy like you. He got the call to Contender Series. Didn't go his way. He didn't get into the UFC. But even if you don't actually physically train with him, which I know you do, you guys cross paths and everything. But I will tell you that the lesson that you teach all these young fighters like him and Brandon Jenkins is never ever quit the path. You can get frustrated, you can bitch and moan and grind about it and gripe about it because we're human beings and we have feelings and emotions, but always stay true to your path, stay true to your dream, because if your dream doesn't come true, it's because you stopped trying to chase it rather than somebody else's actions, And
I tell people I'll yell, I'll bitch and moan, but I won't quit.
Yeah, no, Sherrod's sitting there, he said facts. He knows it. Sherrod, if you even think about quitting, I'm coming to
Nah,
Vegas. I'm gonna whoop your ass, son.
sure I won't. I'm telling you, man. Shar's one of those dudes to where I always say like people lack fight IQ. Like Sherrod is one of the like smart. Just when you see him in the gym, like he's got a phenomenal IQ to where he can analyze fights at a level that like how many fights does he have? Like 6 or 7, like 6, something like that.
Yeah.
He has a better eye for fighting than people for like 6 fights. His eye for fighting is absolutely insane. So that's going to be his special power. Is he understands fighting. He understands fighting at a very intuitive level, and like you don't see that at somebody with that few fights. So that's actually impressive. That's dangerous.
There's another guy from your team I met last weekend in Pensacola at Island Fights. He's from Israel, Alay Barzilay.
That kid's gonna be a problem. Yeah.
Oh my God, dude! Oh my fucking God! Wow, what an impressive
That kid's gonna.
He fucking. I thought he broke this kid's arm with the Kimura fucking finish. Because he finished this kid by Kimura, a kid named Justin Welch. And Elay's an amateur, so this was an amateur card. So he's an amateur, and if he's coming in like this now, I can't imagine what he's going to do when he gets to the pros. Man, people are going to get fucked up by this cat. It goes to show what you guys have in the gym. It goes to show what you guys have in the gym with guys like Sherrod and Brandon, yourself. And
Eli
of course,
has
Strickland.
Insane dedication. He's got dedication that you don't see for somebody that inexperienced and that young. And I mean, he genuinely wants it, and like the amount of effort he's willing to put in, and the amount of work he's willing to do is something you don't see a lot like that.
Well, that showed
the kid works his ass off.
Yeah, that showed in his fight the other night. I was the ring announcer for the event, and I'm watching, and I'm like, oh my God, like this guy looks like a seasoned pro, like. And you could tell his work ethic and his dedication to his sport by the result of the action in the fight. And, there were no jitters, no fucking, hesitation, no fucking fear. But you could see the fight IQ in him as he was, progressing into the move that, finished the fight for him. So it's crazy, dude, and I just but I love it, dude. It always reminds me that, the best fighters in the world, we might not have ever seen yet. So
yeah, he'll have a high ceiling. Right? It'll be exciting to see where he goes. He'll have a very high ceiling.
So now that you're there, and you're past the week, did you cry?
No, man, it's been like really like it's been a very surreal experience.
Not even this fight. I mean, when you got the original call that you were going to be in the UFC and you knew you were staying, even after no tears at all.
No, man, because I was waiting for like the other shoe to drop. Like this entire weekend, I've still been waiting for something to go wrong. I'm like, okay, so what's the catch? So no, I've been waiting the entire time for something to go wrong. It's just now settling in. Like, okay, this really happened. Like, all right, so
it did, bro.
It's still kind of weird. It's very new though.
I know you were on ESPN before with PFL, but. It's funny because you've been on ESPN, you've been in PFL, you fought for you were in the $1 million tournament, you went to the UFC, you showed that if people didn't know that it was your first time, they would have all thought you'd been there forever because of the way you performed, the way you handled yourself as a professional. No catch, your hard work is paid off. No catch, your hard work is paid off. That's from Sherrod.
Yeah, right.
He knows. Is there anybody now, since you said they offered you a fight, but you're not taking it, or
no? They offered it. They called and they offered it, and we said yeah. But then there was some. So I got to be careful about what I say because there are some I don't know how much has been announced yet. But some people, some fights fell off this weekend, so they reshuffled stuff around, and now they're like, okay, well this guy lost a fight, so he'll get that fight instead of me. But
so
I was trying to fight a top 15.
Not fighting.
No, I tried to fight this weekend. That didn't happen. And then I was going to fight next month. I was like, next month I was actually going to fight. They asked me if I wanted to fight. I can't remember the guy's name. I don't know if I can say it right now to ask. And he's a top 15 guy. He was a top 15 guy. And I was like, yeah, let's go. And then it fell through. So On to the next one. We'll wait and see.
Yeah. Is there anybody out there at middleweight that you want? I mean, if you get, if you're, because I know you're obviously ready for the short notice call, and you'll take the fight, if it makes sense. But is there anybody out there in particular that you've had a chance to maybe get your eye on and go, you know what, I'd like to fight this guy, not because of any animosity, just because you go, this would be a fun fight.
Unfortunately, like I kind of had my eye on welterweights for the longest. Outside of my friends, I don't really know who else is in middleweight. So we've got to actually do some recon this week.
Right,
and
so
I was told to. I think me and Brian Barberena would be a really fun fight, man. Like I think me and Brian Barberena would be a freaking awesome fight. Like I've watched him fight before. I'm a fan of him. I think we would have a really fun time. So that'd be a really fun one.
I think you and Nico Price would be a really fun fight.
I like Nico though. Unfortunately, I train with Nico, so that's the only bad thing.
It's not a question about it's a question about this is a business, and you guys may have to cross paths. And I was thinking about welterweight fights for you, and that was one that I thought of. I mean, I'm good friends with Nico.
So let's be real.
I'm friends with you.
Nico and I punch each other for free. We would punch each other for money. We punch each other for free. We do it for money for sure because we're professionals. And I've trained together. I love Nico. I have no doubt we punch each other for actual money because we do it where we don't get paid anyway.
Yeah. And it would be a fun fight. It would be a fun fight. That was just one of the ones that popped into my head. Fun
fact about Nico Price, that dude has rock hands. I don't know why. He's not a big human being, but his skeletal structure is like twice as thick as a normal person. It is insane.
Well, and he's a father of 5 with number 6 on the way. I remember. I remember after him and his wife had the 5th baby, and we were at a UFC event in Tampa, and Nico fought that night. That was the night he upkicked James Vick in the face and knocked him out, off his back.
God, poor James Vick.
Poor James Vick. But that's all you can say is poor James Vick.
Poor James Vick.
That's it. But they said no more babies, and I looked at them and I remember saying to them in the lobby, I said, "That's bullshit. There'll be another one, maybe 2." And so the next one's on the way. And man, oh man, I had him on the show a couple of weeks ago, and his wife was out at church group, so he was home with all the kids running the ship. Man, I gotta tell you something. It was fucking awesome.
That dude's fielding his own basketball team at this point, so hats off to him. He's got his own youth league going on.
Yeah, and all his kids, all his kids are really good to each other, and they all help out, and they, but they're wild children. They, they live out on a big piece of property, fucking with swamp and forest behind their house. They're out there in the swamp, going after snakes. One time, one of the interviews I did with him, he has a big machete on the porch to kill snakes, and his little son that looks like Tarzan, fucking with the long hair and fucking always walking around with no shirt on. He picked up the machete let's go, Dad. I'm like, and Nico takes away from that. But it's just so funny to watch.
Snakes on the porch. What? Snakes on the porch.
Snakes on the porch. Snakes on the porch. Snakes on the plane, wherever they are. So, was it? And again, I know you said it was just another fight. Felt like every other fight, but now that you've had a couple of days to soak it in, was it different? Was there a different feel for you of any of it?
Nah, man, it's a little bit of a validation to get there and then finish a guy who talks shit to me. So it's a little bit of validation. And yep. Especially I love everybody that bet against me. I'm glad they lost money. I was like, this is what you get. So that's always fun.
And you were not favored on the card. You were one of the dogs I picked, but I was not good. I was not going to not pick you. You know what I'm saying? I was like, fucking you, Chris Barnett, you, Chris, Billy, were all underdogs. I picked all of you guys to win because I believed in you. And it was cool. Like last week, the week before at 267, I went 13-1. And on this card, I went 12-2. It's my 2 best back-to-back weeks ever on Fight Picks. So I'm like, fucking goddamn, I'm 25-3 over my last fucking 28 fights, man. That's pretty impressive.
That's nice.
That's nice.
I'm glad I didn't let you down. I'm very glad I didn't let you down.
Well, listen, just so you know, even if you had lost, you wouldn't have let me down.
I know, but I'm glad I didn't ruin your.
I don't do it for I don't do it for money. So it's not like I lost money or I won money. I just do it because I like to throw the picks out there. But you're one of those guys that I don't care what happens in your fight, you'll never let me down because of your determination, your intestinal fortitude, your sheer will to succeed at something that, people probably said you're never going to get there, and you just kept fucking putting in the work, and you spent time living with Sam Alvey for a few years, and to hone your skills, and that must have been a whole kind of adventure because they got a bunch of kids going there too. So life is good, and you'll never ever, I'm one of those people. I don't care what anybody else out there says, but no matter what happens, you'll never let me down. Unless you beat up your wife or something. that would let me down.
No, never. Never that guy. I'm a teddy bear. Yeah.
And listen, I wouldn't get mad at you if you had a DUI because sometimes stupid shit happens. We're all human and we're all vulnerable for different things in life. But there's other things that you can do in life that you make a choice to do, and if they're bad things, then that would disappoint me because I don't get that vibe off. I never have. You're. I
try to walk the straight and narrow now, so I really try. Yeah, I try.
You're a good young man. So, and I can say young man because I'm old as dirt. So everybody's younger than me that I talk to. So
fair enough.
Before I let you go, because I don't want to keep you all night. I know, you've probably got other people want to talk to you. You're still soaking all this stuff in. Is there anybody you want to shout out?
Eat oh man.
Well, you got to go eat too. Is there anybody out there that you want to shout out? You want to give a special praise or mention to? Sherrard said, just smoke weed. All right, Sherrard, I'll do it.
Most definitely, my management, Lance Spouty and Jason House from Iridium, they definitely have went above and beyond and get me here. So I can't thank them enough for that. And just my team, man. I've got coaches at Extreme. I've got Gokor over at Freestyle MMA out here. And Barry's a great dude. James Gifford, another guy, I'm a boxing coach who's helped me a lot. Nate Pettit, Eric Nipsick. When I was at Syndicate, John Wood from Syndicate. All my teammates everywhere, man. I am at a point now in my life where I am kind of I am a product of everyone who's put time, effort, and energy into me. And there's too many people to list, but, all those people that helped me get to this position. I just want to say thank you guys. And, of course, my mom, my mother, she knows. Mom knows. She was the first person I called after the fight.
You still got to say it after the interview, during the interview, so she hears it, man. It's like shouting out your mom in football. And before I let you go, I want to show you this. Derek Minner, who fights in the UFC as well. He said, "Congrats, bro. You won him some money." But he fights in the UFC as well. And he said, when it takes so long to get there and you take the long road, it makes a person way more appreciative than all these young guns. And because, his path was the same thing. Mama said she knew that you loved her. She just got like it. She's like, "Yeah, I'll throw it there."
Nah,
I knew that.
The Minner knows, man. Minner, he definitely knows. And it's now that I'm here, I'm just not gonna let go, man. I'm not gonna let go. Now it's mine. I'm not gonna let go. I'm gonna run with it for as long as I can, and on to the next one.
Well, I hope that Dana was impressed after seeing you perform because he had your career in his hand a few years back, and he could have fucking popped you in. And he didn't, and you were a winning fighter and an impressive win. So I really hope that he saw that, and maybe that night after the fight, he laid back and he went, "Fuck, I should have shined this cat." He
said he was impressed. He said I had a good performance, and he said I didn't get a of the night bonus. He said he slid me something extra for my performance. So he took notice.
Yeah, he'll probably because there was a couple of guys at the press conference who said, "Man, I got to pay this guy. I got to pay this guy." He gave out 4 performance bonuses plus a fight of the night. And a couple of guys, like he said, he was going to slide Billy Q and Shane Burgos a little extra money.
Yeah.
He goes, what sucks it's funny too. He goes, what sucks for them is they had to follow Gaethje and fucking Chandler. I mean, holy fucking shit.
Yeah, right.
Who wants to follow that fight? Fuck that. I'll fight before them, or I'll be the fight the fight after them.
They showed out though, so hats off to them.
Oh my God, what a fucking fight those two had, man. That was a really good night, man. You were part of probably one of the best cards I've ever seen in my life. So, and history was made, for the amount of strikes thrown that night. Part of those strikes came from Christopher Curtis, the king of combat, the action man.
Hey, it's a hell of a weekend, man. Hell of a weekend.
It was, right? They had a little side trip to New York for a few days, go out, have a fight. And, Dana's going to send you a little extra cheddar. There ain't nothing wrong with that. I will ask you this, and I'm going to shut the fuck up. How cool did it feel, though, to put on your fight kit with your name on it?
I've waited so many years to be in the UFC, and then I've waited years to have – I wanted a Reebok fight kit, never got that. And now just to have to see my name on those shorts and my name on the back meant the world to me. I'm like, it's not the end goal. And like, fuck Phil Hollis. First of all, I'm just here for the fight kit. Like, yes, I wanted my fight kit. I still kick your ass, but I definitely wanted my fight kit. But it means a lot. I mean, it's a badge of honor. And I'm like, it's just a sign that, you're where you belong. So it was nice to see. It was really cool to see you walk in, your fight kit's hanging there. It was a good feeling.
That's why I had to ask you about that, because I know the whatchamacallit, that the commentary he made about your I just had to block some asshole.
Yeah. Oh man, post them. I love the negative comments. They're fun.
No. It wasn't about you. It was just putting
crazy.
crappy, some fucking some stupid schmuck. Just fucking I can't have that shit going on my show.
Makes sense.
So anyway, so your next fight, I want a piece of your fight kit.
I got you.
I want something with your name on it. I want to frame it and put it on my wall, because that'll mean something very special to me.
I definitely got you. My first one got cannibalized already, but I definitely got you. I'll give you a piece of the next one. Yeah.
Even if it's on the third one, whatever, because I'm sure there's some people prior ahead of me, so that's cool. But I want something.
No. I definitely got you.
Or
I definitely got you.
Or you could just, have me come out and be part of your corner one time, and I'll just fucking get my cornerman license, and I'll fucking make a walk with you, dude. You know what? I get to do that this weekend with my client Marcus Brimage. Make the walk with him, as his manager.
That's awesome.
I'm not going to walk out with him all the time, but this is my first client, and it's the first fight that I helped, negotiate his contract, get him to fight night, help him with the bout stuff. So I was like, that's part of my reward. I want to walk out there with you, dude. I want to feel that.
Brimage
walk out. So
Brimage is cool. I like Brimage. So congratulations, man. Tell me, wish him well.
Yeah, I will, and he'll be on the BKTV app. So download the app, www.bktvap.com. Get yourself the app. Watch some bare knuckle. Watch my boy do some work.
I'll check it out
that night. It's going to be awesome. Listen, for you guys who just tuned in, if you missed it, go back and watch it. It's on my YouTube page. It's on my Facebook. It's tweeted out on both of my Twitter pages. So watch the show. This is Christopher Curtis, the Action Man, the King of Combat. He recently got signed to the UFC, and he made the most of it. Took out Phil Hawes with the knockout. If you didn't see the knockout, go online and look for the video. It's out there, boys and girls, and it's fucking,
it's out there.
It's pretty. It's pretty. It's fucking great work. Listen, Chris, thank you so much for being here tonight, man.
Thanks, brother. It's been way too long.
Yeah, it has been. Well, I was going to get you after you got signed originally, but then, the fight didn't happen.
Yeah, everything was creative.
And I was like, I don't know if I want to talk to him, because he might fucking say something on the show that might, and so I'm just going to leave him be. Let's find out what happened. And then he announced the fight. And then I didn't want to talk to you until after the UFC fight. Win or lose, I was going to reach out for an interview.
I know for sure.
But I didn't want to talk to you until after, because I wanted you to just fucking, not worry about interviews and all that other shit. You had too much on your plate to deal with. Not that it's not new stuff to you, but still, you're there. So I was like, I'm just going to sit back and watch.
Yeah, but, full plate's a full plate regardless. Yeah,
it is. It doesn't matter. It's still a full plate. But you enjoy the rest of your night, man. Soak in this victory at least for another day or two before you sign on the dotted line for the next fight. And I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud to know you. I'm proud to call you a friend. I'm proud to know you as a fighter. You show what it should be about. Never quit on yourself. And if you never quit on yourself, the things you want in life can come your way. Doesn't matter if it's fighting or if it's fucking a cryptocurrency or if you want to be the best flamenco dancer on the planet Earth. Whatever it is, don't quit on yourself. That's
just bet on yourself, man. Yep, there it is. Yeah, sometimes you gotta bet on yourself.
All right, brother, man. You be well. Enjoy the night. God bless, man. And again, congratulations, man.
Later, brother. Thank you.
Peace. Boys and girls, that was Christopher Curtis, the Action Man, the King of Combat, man. Such a fun guy, such a good human being. Glad to have him on, and that's it. I'll be in South Florida the rest of the week for Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship starting on Thursday. So I'm there in a management capacity. I don't know if I'm going to do any media work down there that weekend. I want to focus on my managerial duties for my client. But maybe post-fight after we, celebrate his victory, maybe, I'll get some guys, just do a live Facebook and get a bunch of people, come on after they have their fights. But thank you guys for tuning in tonight and being a part of this and for being a part of my life today and for allowing me to be a part of yours for just a little while. It really means the world to me right here in my heart. I do this because I want to share information with you guys that, you might not be able to get on a regular basis. So with that being said, I appreciate it. You guys are all awesome. We will see you next time. And until then, I am Christopher James. And you guys, well, you guys have been Cage Side. We'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.
What happens if you lose, Nick?
Who the hell is Aquaman?
I get Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, I get sausage biscuits. Maybe you guys will see a little footage of that later on because we got some good stuff.
Go with the deuces. There you go, baby.